They laughed when she walked into the hangar with a mop in her hands. The new recruits had decided she wasn't cut out for the field, so they shoved her toward cleaning duty like it was the lowest rung of the ladder. Some even snickered, calling it her place. She kept her head down, scrubbing the oil-stained floor as their boots clattered past. But what no one knew, not the recruits, not even the seasoned sergeants, was that she had worn a different uniform once, in battles that left scars too deep for anyone in that room to guess. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. She felt every stare on her back that day, the sting of humiliation sharper than the smell of bleach that clung to her hands. She told herself to breathe, to endure. But inside, she couldn't silence the memories of nights spent on missions where silence meant survival, of brothers in arms who never came home. Those ghosts stayed with her, pressing against her chest with every sweep of the mop. The others didn't notice the tremor in her hands. They only noticed that she seemed small, insignificant, someone to overlook. That is until the door at the far end of the hangar opened, and a stillness swept the room. Boots hit the ground in unison. The SEAL commander himself had arrived. The recruits straightened, some nervously fixing their uniforms, others puffing their chests as if ready for inspection. She kept scrubbing, hoping he wouldn't even glance her way. But the commander's eyes were sharper than most. He scanned the room once, twice, and then stopped. His gaze locked on her. Whispers rippled among the recruits. Why would he pause on the cleaner? But the commander took a step forward, then another. Every sound seemed to fade, the distant hum of machines, the shuffle of boots, even the laughter that had once filled the hangar. And then it happened. The commander halted before her, his jaw tightening, as though he were staring at a memory he couldn't shake. Slowly, deliberately, he raised his hand in salute. The recruits froze, jaws slackened. No one could process what they were seeing. Their commander saluting the woman they had mocked, the one they had reduced to scrubbing floors. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She hadn't expected recognition. Not here, not now. But the commander's voice broke the silence, low and steady. We served together. She saved my team when the odds were impossible. Don't you ever mistake her worth. Gasps echoed. The recruits shifted uneasily, shame burning their cheeks. They remembered every smirk, every cruel word, and she remembered the mission he spoke of, the one where she dragged him, bleeding, through the dark, refusing to leave him behind. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. For a moment, the hangar felt sacred. Dust floated in the sunlight, cutting through the windows. Soldiers stood like statues, their pride melting into silence. Then, slowly applause began, not loud, but steady, a ripple of respect that grew into thunder. She lowered her mop. Tears blurred her vision, not of weakness, but of release. For years, she had carried her past quietly, never demanding recognition, never speaking of what she endured. But in that single salute, her worth was laid bare. The moral weight hung heavy. How quick people are to judge, how cruel they can be when they don't know the battles someone has fought. And yet, in that moment of justice, something greater rose above the shame. Respect, earned and undeniable. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And as the sunlight glimmered across the hangar floor she once scrubbed, the mop slipped from her hand. The same floor that once carried her humiliation now carried the echo of honor. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because here, every story reminds us that true worth can't be hidden, and respect always finds its voice.